Hey folks, Thack with AOK Urban Homestead, and well, it's July. I have things to harvest in the garden and do a little bit of maintenance work, so I just thought, why not give you guys a garden tour? Folks, as you guys can see, my beautiful sunflower has gone out of control. It's got at least almost 20 heads of sunflowers growing on it, which is fine because it's absolutely gorgeous and it's bringing in a lot of bees. I'm very, very proud of it. We looked online and, well, we were told not to plant sunflowers in our garden, just on the outside because it emits some kind of pheromone or something that tends to stunt the growth of our plants. We personally have not found that problem. So let's go take a tour of the garden. Folks, behind me right here, we have the wild garden. We have a bunch of dill over here. I have let it go to seed so that way I could have seed for next year. And the good thing about dill is, well, you can still use it even though it's seeded. You can use the seeds itself, or you can use all the flowers. I absolutely love dill for that purpose, and tastes pretty darn good. Next to the dill, we have on the left over here the rhubarb, which is doing fantastic. We already harvested once, but I figured, hey, you know what? I'm going to give it a chance to establish itself some more. So I stopped harvesting it. And then we have some purple basil right here. I am going to try and pull that as much as possible because I didn't realize how much they spread. And boy, they spread like even into the yard. Can you see that right there? Yeah, they kind of grow all over the place. So I want to get those out. And my ramps that I told you guys about that I picked from a construction site went to seed, and the seeds have finally dropped. You can maybe see one that hasn't dropped its seeds yet right there. Oopsie. Ugh, trying to focus right here. It is. This one hasn't gone to seed yet. I mean, it has gone to seed, but it hasn't dropped its seed. So that'll be awesome. So I'm just going to let this wild garden, is what I have called it, just get wild. There's the false Solomon seal. It has started to yellow right here. And it should get some seed pods. It did last year. So we'll see how it does. The sorrel has gone overboard and grown and grown. And then, of course, my mint is beautiful as ever. We have some volunteer sunflowers growing in there from the bird seed right there. And there's one all the way back there hiding, which is fine. So we're going to let those sunflowers be. We're going to let whatever grows in this planter area, we're just going to let it go because, like I said, it's the wild garden. Folks, this is the trellis, the gourd trellis right here to the entrance of the main garden. As you guys can see, it has really taken over the trellis, and the gourds have gotten so big that I actually lost one. So I had to make what I call gourd bras. So for some reason, I don't know if it was too heavy, I doubt it, but it broke the vine and fell down. And so we just left it for now. So I went ahead and made gourd bras for all these other gourds. Look at them behind me. They are huge. And there's another one right there. And well, I'm going to have to make more bras for ones like this one right here. Yeah. But see the ones there? Everywhere. They are everywhere of that variegated variety. And we have this green bottleneck variety too. I went ahead and gave them bras too, even though they don't get as big as those other variegated swan gourds. But look at this one. It's getting pretty big, and I've never seen one with such a long stem. So I'm going to get a bra on that one so we don't lose it either. And that one behind it right there is even bigger. All right, guys. So inside the main garden, the sunflower plant from another view, we're going to start with row number 1, which is the beets roll, and of course my dahlias. The beets still look really pretty, but we have already harvested and canned some pickled beets. And so I wanted to show you that this is actually a new planting of beets right here. See how small they are? But they're coming up very, very nicely for the fall garden. So hopefully in the fall, I'm going to get a lot more. And I wanted to discuss something with you guys about my beets. Anyways, when I was growing the beets, people told me that, you're going to get 4 or 5 beets per plant, sometimes 2 or 3, but mainly you're going to want to trim them. And then some people said, no, don't trim them. Well, this is what I did. I did not trim them, right? So some of them did have 3 and 4 plants or bulbs, root balls growing. And I would just harvest the bigger ones. And then I would let the next one get bigger and I would harvest it later on. And it has really worked very, very well. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's take this plant for example right here. This came out more than likely out of one seed, and there was one before it on this other side of it right here. And I already pulled that one. So now I will pull this one next because it's bigger, and then I'll let this one here get bigger. So you can harvest 2, 3, 4 times instead of all at once, which actually has been making preserving a lot easier on me. So that way I'm not doing big batches all at once. I find it less stressful that way. So the dahlias have started blooming. Some of them are dying off a little bit, but they're still blooming, and they have become very, very beautiful along the fence row. They have been bringing in some pollinators, and guys, my heart is really happy whenever I see them. They have such vibrant colors, especially this pink that just pops. I absolutely love it. And then here's another one. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen this one yet. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very, very happy with all the dahlias. And especially, I'm going to show you guys this one on the very end. Look at how many blooms she has had. And so I am going to be thrilled to grow it again next year and the year after, hopefully, if I preserve all the bulbs the right way. And next to it, we have my balloon flowers, which are perennial. And I know that this is a weed, but it's so pretty and it does bring in some bees. So I left it and I couldn't be more happy. It is actually very beautiful. This was a volunteer sunflower right here. This bulb is dying, but look, there's 3 more coming to take its place. Next, I'm going to show you guys the perimeter bed, and on all the way on the outside of it, we're going to go each bed by bed, and we'll start with the herb garden bed. This oregano is so beautiful. We've harvested, gosh, 4 times already, freeze-dried them, and regular dehydrated them, because I wanted to see which one I would like better. So I'm going to let you guys know, I think the flavor of the dehydrated one is much, much better, but the color and the smell of the freeze-dried one is so much better. So I'd rather go for taste more than smell and look. I mean, because you're gonna eat it. That's the main goal, right? You're gonna eat it. So I'm gonna dehydrate most of them from now on instead of freeze drying them all. I have a bunch freeze dried, so I'd like to go ahead and dehydrate a bunch. The nasturtium is looking beautiful. It's actually outgrowing the thyme behind it right here. Look at that. There's some thyme here, and then a lemon thyme there, and there's the rosemary, and there's the sage. All the herbs have been picked and harvested and preserved in one way or another already. So I'm okay to let some of them bolt, and I'm going to see if I can get seeds from all of them. Next, we have the lavender and false blue indigo. Something has stunted this one, but look at that one. It's looking great. Folks, false blue indigo is actually a perennial herb, and it is used to treat infections like ear, nose, and throat infections. And so is the lavender is also a perennial, so I am going to move them out of these buckets as soon as I can and move them to a permanent spot. I had saved this bed for flowers, and for some reason this side of the bed is not doing very well. It's the sunnier side. But look at that side right there. Guys, the nasturtiums just look so great. Even the snapdragons are still blooming very nicely. So, yeah, I am super, super pumped about the nasturtiums on this one. I mean, the colors just pop. Look at that. So, I'm very happy. Next, we have the watermelon and cantaloupe bed. Or, yeah, you can call it a bed because it's not on the ground. Anyways, so far, we have one cantaloupe. Look at it. It looks absolutely beautiful. So we have not seen a melon yet, but it's okay. It's still early, so we hope to get at least one melon, and then we'd be really happy. The chives. The chives just did not do the best. I don't understand why not. I mean, they haven't died. They just haven't grown. They have stayed the way they were since I put them in there. But folks, look at how big this marigold is. It is almost up to my chest, and it is just now starting to get some flower heads. It is an amazing marigold. But I don't think I'll plant marigolds in there again next year, since I'm hoping maybe that is what stopped the chives from growing. So if I don't grow it next year, hopefully the chives will be fine. This is the blueberry bed that I was really thought was going to kill my blueberries, but the zinnias have shaded the blueberries, so the blueberries have done very, very well in here with them. Let me see if I can't go through it and show you the blueberries. Right there, folks, is the blueberry shrub, and it's doing very well. I really thought it died, but I guess it maybe just needed some shade and some help from the zinnias and this giant. And when I say giant, I'm going to keep going so you guys can see this giant 20, maybe 15, 20 feet. Yeah, that's how tall this one is. And it is finally starting to bloom. So it is a gorgeous, gorgeous sunflower. It's huge. All right, this is the Wapiscon Gold tomato plants. I have 3 of them, and I really, really am so happy that they finally started getting some tomatoes on them. I know I'm going to have to trellis them somehow, but guys, I am so happy that we already have tomatoes on this one now, because it was planted really, really late in the season. That's why it got a tub of its own. So I'm happy. I hope you guys see how beautiful they look. I am just thrilled. Anyways, next to it, I planted my acorn squash. Now, on either side of the acorn squash, right here, and on the other side, I put citronella. I'm hoping the citronella will help me with squash bugs and everything else, because this acorn plant was planted so late in the season. I'm kind of scared that the squash bugs will get to it, because I have some leaves that are turning yellow, but I think maybe that might be lack of water. We will see. All right, so one of the reasons why we were going to harvest was this one. This is my potatoes. They have all died off, so I am going to harvest potatoes today out of this bed, and maybe I'll wait a couple more days and even until next week to harvest this one, because I'm hoping that, well, they were free potatoes from the grocery store that we didn't eat, so we said let's plant them. So I'm hoping that we got something out of them. Last year was very minuscule. I mean, we had one meal, and it wasn't even a meal for 2. So hopefully we get enough for a couple meals this time around. Folks, this bed right here, I had sweet peas in it. I even had a trellis for it and everything, but something ate it, and I just don't know what ate it. So I decided I'm gonna just amend this soil a little bit better and save it for my fall garlic. Right next to it though, remember those potato slips? They were only like this big last time I showed you in June, and look at them now. They are getting viney and they are just going all over the place. So I'm hoping I get a good sweet potato harvest. I'm going to let it go for at least one more month, and I'm going to wait until August to go ahead and harvest it in August. But in this last bed right here, that is another replica of the sunflower and blueberries and zinnias. And in here, the blueberries look absolutely wonderful once again. Right there, look at that. It's all looking, especially this one. But I notice I'm still having a lot of problems with ants. Look at that. So I'm thinking that's why this bed is not as prolific as the other one, because I'm still having an ant issue. And it's even going all the way up the sunflower. So this is the smallest sunflower, but it has the biggest heads. And look at all the seeds in there. Look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to see if we get a sunflower seed harvest or not. Now we're going to look at the cucumbers. They are starting to look really bad. They're getting these brown spots all over them. They're getting all these brown spots all over them. You see them? So I'm thinking it's diseased in some way. So we're going to probably go ahead, harvest what we can out of this, and just kill this one off. I don't know if I have enough time. It's July. I don't know if I have enough time to plant another cucumber plant, since I didn't even start the seed yet. But if I can find a cucumber plant at a local nursery, then I might plant a couple cucumbers over here. Now we're off to the onion, lettuce, radish, carrot bed, which is bed number 2. And well, here's what you guys are going to see that's different now. Bed number 2, number 3, and number 4 have wood around them now. The reason why I did that was because I had hilled up these rows, and well, they started sagging down and I was getting erosion. And it looked like my footpath right here and over there were so wide that I had less garden space. And I actually want more garden space, not footpath space. So this will help me be able to fill up my soil, less erosion, and get double rows or even triple rows depending on what I grow. Yeah, I noticed that, well, we harvested all the lettuce right before this video, and that's why they look sad. We've been lucky our lettuce have not bolted, because when we harvest them all the way down like this, and then new growth comes up. But that's okay that they are looking scraggly, because I know they are still delicious and they'll come up very, very nicely again. Then over here, you guys remember it was full of onions. Well, some of them flopped over, and so we harvested them. They are down in the what do you call it? The curing room, I guess you can call it, the curing room, and the onions are getting cured. So in its place, I went ahead and planted some more beets. See them? So I'm hoping to get even more beets. That is one vegetable, or fruit, yeah, no, vegetable, root vegetable that Brenda really, really loves, and that's why I grew them. We did go ahead and harvest all the radishes. They are now gone, but look at our carrots. This is our first time ever growing carrots, and well, I must say, they look absolutely beautiful. We couldn't be happier. And so I'm starting to see some carrots showing, and they're very orange. So I think I'm going to wait a couple more weeks, and then I will harvest them. But let's talk about the onions. These red onions are so slow. I don't know if I will grow them again next year. And some of them didn't even bulb out. They just stemmed. And so, yeah, I think we're going to do the yellow onions because we really, really love the yellow onions. And they bulbed very nicely for us. So, yeah, maybe no red onions or even only half the red onions next year. This might be my last yellow onion that we have left because, well, we've been eating them a lot more. Folks, while gardening this year, we did some trial and error stuff. And well, bed number 3 is a lot of errors. I mean, a lot of errors. But I don't think it was all our fault. I think it was the wet season that we had. We had so many problems with ants. And well, I'm going to show it to you now. As you see, it ate a lot of my, I guess you guys call them brassicas, whatever. Anyways, I did not get any cabbage, any broccoli. All I got was a bunch of very beautiful kohlrabi and some collard greens. But I left them in the beds because I wanted them to be sacrificed, right? They're my sacrificial plants so these bugs would not come after my good growing plants. If that makes sense to you, well, it makes sense to me. Because what has happened is, see, they're eating these guys here. All this is being eaten, and they're leaving things like my pepper plants. All my peppers and tomatoes have been left alone. So I'm kind of hoping that this really works. Anyways, this is what we have so far. And then we found out we don't like Swiss chard. So I don't think we'll be growing that next year. But I might grow it for the chickens because the chickens absolutely have been loving it. And you know what? It's been the easiest thing to grow. I haven't done anything except for keep harvesting, and it just keeps growing. And look, we finally have some leeks. After all that time, the leeks have finally come out. Right here is a nice one too. Look at that. So I'm really happy with that too. Folks, some of the basil have done well, some of them have not. Most of them we've done 3 and 4 harvests from. Some, right there, have just died off, and I can't figure out why. Some of my pepper plants are starting to look like that too, and I don't know why. So, yeah, I can't do anything except for blame the ants and the wet season. Anyways, see all these here getting eaten off? But then they have left me one head of cabbage right here. Look, one head of cabbage. I am very, very happy. Then I left that one last kohlrabi in there because it was a late bloomer, and that one was a late bloomer, which I'm okay with because we had a really nice harvest of kohlrabi already. Before we go to bed number 4, decide I'm going to show you the back row because, well, it flows a little bit better. The back row, remember that? Those are those Thai eggplants that I really thought were going to die. They were yellow, there were no leaves, they were all slumped over, and then all of a sudden, they just started growing and haven't stopped growing. And look, we're getting so many eggplants right here. Look at that. And if you guys remember last year, they were very small eggplants. This year, they're much bigger. They look so much better. And even the plant is humongous compared to last year. So I'm very happy about that. This is the bush beans, and we've harvested 3 meals for the 2 of us by now, and there's enough there for another meal. And so we're thinking next year more bush beans because we absolutely love eating green beans. They're delicious, they're nutritious. So, and this is something that's a win for us because now we know we're going to grow more of this. The sweet peas right here are just the floral kind. They never flowered. They just vined up, flopped over, and haven't done much. But anyways, so this is supposed to be succotash, dry beans, pole beans, or whatever. Well, they've grown a lot. Look at that. But we haven't seen any beans yet. So we don't know if we're going to get beans. But I guess we just keep growing it until it dies, and then we'll find beans, or we won't. It's an experiment. Now we're going to go to row number 4, which I call the pepper row. And guys, I really thought I had failed. I really thought this garden had failed this year. But gosh, I can't believe the amount of peppers and tomatoes we're getting. So first, I'm going to show you the peppers in row number 4. Look at that. I think I have no clue what this one is. Oh, it just popped. So we'll go ahead and harvest it. But yeah, yep, no, that one's not ready to pop off. But that is beautiful. And so this one here looks all shrivelly, but they have peppers growing and the leaves just keep looking shriveled, but they're still blossoming. So I don't know. I think this is the chilitepin, but because it was the only plant that I was able to get to come from seed, and that's what it looks like to me, and I hope that's what it is, because I was really, really looking forward to eating some chilitepins, because I've never had them. Next, we have jalapenos, bell pepper, and folks, my Tabasco plant really needed the heat, and the heat brought them on. They look absolutely wonderful. Look at them all over the place. They just, man, they make my heart so happy. I mean, happy, because I thought they were all dead. And yeah, they're still just going. And so here, I did not grow this one from seed, and I did not grow this one from seed. These two were bought from Mills Fleet Farm only because all my seeded ones were eaten by ants. But look at how beautiful these were, because they were established. So I'm very, very happy. So let's go to row number 5, which is the two-sided onion and pepper and tomato bed. First, if you guys can see this, look at all those Thai chili peppers. They are absolutely going crazy. So that makes me really happy. And then we have always wanted a great jalapeno year, and I think we finally got it. Look at all those jalapenos. I mean, they are just everywhere. There we go. Yeah. And then we have more of the Thai chili peppers, more of the jalapenos, and another one full of jalapenos. And so we didn't know what this one was, but I think this is a Hungarian wax hot pepper, which, well, I accidentally ate one and it was very, very hot. Then we have 3 more bell pepper plants. Folks, did you see all the orange behind them? Yeah, those are the tomatoes that are ready. So that's what we're going to harvest too, is some tomatoes to go with some of this other stuff. So let's head over there. Someone told me, hey, you're growing your tomatoes too close to each other. I said, you know, maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But look at them. And I'm thinking I have not, because they have supported each other. Now, some of them may be pulling each other down, but the rest of them are really supporting each other. Look at how big these guys are. And then I think that's a Roma tomato, but I'm not for sure. Huh. Anyways, because I did not grow any Romas, so maybe that's an Amish paste, if that's what it's supposed to look like. Anyways, we're going to come out, and I'm going to pick them while they're orange like this and let them ripen inside, because I let some of them start to get red, and well, I had some bugs in them, so I'm not gonna sit here and let the bugs get them after all my hard work. But you guys, they look beautiful. I have been trellising them up because of storms and because it gives me peace to come out here and just play with all my plants. Well, folks, this whole basket's full. Now, I must admit, I was sick yesterday and did not harvest any. So that is basically 2 days. Look at the two trees. These are the wild persimmon trees that was bare root, had absolutely no leaves on them. They look absolutely gorgeous. I am a little worried about my Montmorency cherry tree because the leaves have all died on them. I don't know. I hope it makes it because I was really hoping to get some cherries. Anyways, it's a Montmorency. It's a sour cherry pie type of cherry. I hope you guys, that plain, you know. Anyways, that's the Montmorency cherry tree, and I love cherry pies. So I'm hoping they make it. All right, let's go to the first part of the recycled garden. Okay, folks, this is the recycled shipping crate. On each side, I have Centinela again, and then we have all the strawberries. They are delicious. They have been so good. We've only eaten a few, but man, they are wonderful. And now all the runners are coming out everywhere, new runners, so that's good. Then, well, this is our later recycled bin. And, well, the Sweet 100s did not fare well. But look at the sun gold. They're looking beautiful. And then the cherry pepper. And then this variegated jalapeno plant, which they called hot pepper fish for some reason. I don't know why. But it's supposed to be a little bit hotter than a jalapeno. So that's pretty good. And then we're going to go see some more potatoes. If you guys remember, we cut some barrels in half and we made potato bed out of some new potatoes that had sprouted, and they're starting to turn yellow but they didn't bloom. So I'm a little worried about that, but I hope I get some potatoes from them also. That's the kaffir lime tree. This is all the bee balm and zinnias and other flowers. So here is the fall kohlrabi cabbage and purple broccoli that I will be putting in bed 2 in the main garden once they get big enough. I'm hardening them off right now. So yeah, and here's this other potato bed. It's starting to yellow also. So I'm hoping we're getting a bunch of potatoes. The horseradish is looking beautiful. I still need to find a place for that. I don't know where to put it yet. So this was the cilantro and dill bed that we were eating off of. I let the cilantro go to seed, and so now I have seeds for next year. And right there is a citrus tree. I don't know if I'll ever get citrus, but I wanted to plant it anyways because a friend gave it to us. So I will put that in a bigger pot for the winter. Folks, I think that car was very loud. Anyways, I think this is the most beautiful part of the tour is the front yard. Brenda has worked really hard at it, and man, things are just so beautiful here. I couldn't be more proud of her. Ever since we've had these crown of thorns, this has been the most blooms we have ever seen come out of this plant. It is absolutely gorgeous. The English daisies have died off. The blooms have died off, but the plant itself is still doing okay. We did cut back the yarrow. It just got so unruly, we had to cut them back. They're still beautiful, but man, you really got to tame your yarrow. Look at that. So much more is coming back already. This, folks, is the foxglove. We did not know that it was a perennial, and well, it's a perennial. And so it's come back very nicely. And a little disappointed in the echinacea coneflower. we only got one that came back. So hopefully next year more will come back. That's what we're hoping anyways. But yeah, only one came back. We got some more bare root trees in the front. That one right there is the red bud. And there was one here that was supposed to be a red bud. It was not a red bud. So we dug it up and gave it to a friend that said he wanted it. So we gave it to him. In the pots that we take in every year, we have the hibiscus. This one just got done blooming, but there's a few more blooms waiting to come out right here. This one here, this hibiscus is a yellow one, and well, it only flowered one flower. I'm thinking I need to give it more soil, more nutrients, and then it will flower some more. All right. The columbines have all stopped flowering except for one, and I'll show that one to you right here. This is the only columbine left that is still flowering. The rest of them have not died, but they have stopped flowering. So hopefully they'll come back and flower in the fall. But right behind that columbine, see the beautiful black-eyed Susans. We absolutely love native wildflowers, and that one will come back for us each year. So will this one. It is absolutely stunning this year. Last year we would get one or two blooms here and there, and then it would die off. One or two blooms and then it would die off. But look at how many is on there. I just cannot believe how beautiful that looks. This one here we just got, and it looks like it has a few blooms just waiting, but it's not quite there yet. But we have some native flowers over here too. I forgot their names. I'll have Thack put it in when she's editing this video, so that way you guys can see what it is. But they are doing absolutely beautiful. And this one right here, you guys, will come back every year. Isn't that thing just beautiful? Like, wow. Anyways, and then this one. We can't wait for this one to bloom because it's variegated also. And look at how many blooms it's going to have. We hope they show themselves all at once. Well, folks, you know what? I totally forgot to show you guys the compost bin. The compost bin has gone a little crazy. So, right here is for next year, and the one after that is for the year after. Right here, right? So that's how we divided it. But look at next year's compost bin. Decided to grow some stuff. So we have right here a giant summer squash. We have, oh, a pumpkin. I love that it's starting to take color right there. And oh, yeah, we have another squash right there. And I know you're hiding somewhere. Where are you? Look at that, guys. An acorn squash. Folks, I want to thank you so much for watching this garden tour. I am so absolutely at awe about this garden because when we first started it, we honestly did not know what direction it was going to go. And it has gone way beyond any expectations that we ever thought. My wife has worked so hard to help me with this. So Brenda, I love you. Thank you, my love, for all your help. It looks absolutely beautiful because of you. Yeah, and I want to thank you all for watching. Please keep coming back. If you're new to the channel, I hope you guys subscribe, like every video, share every video. It really, really helps us out a lot. Anyways, folks, give us a comment. Until next time, stay blessed and be A-OK. Alright, folks, as promised, we are going to harvest this one tub of potatoes. And so, are you ready? This is our yield from this one tub. I mean, I hope we can eat it all. Here we go. Ta-da! One meal.